In this video we'll be discussing factoring trinomials, the so-called big X method, and sometimes you'll hear it called the AC method. If you have not already seen, you should view the video Factor Trinomials, and you can go to YouTube and search JC Algebra Factor Trinomials A=1. Most of you have likely viewed this video. Alright, so in this video we're going to be talking about trinomials where a is greater than 1, and let me remind you of our standard form of a quadratic: ax squared plus bx plus c. I'm leaving off the equal 0 part. We're looking at this just as an expression. A is the coefficient of the quadratic term, b is the coefficient of the linear, and c is the constant. Alright, so let's just jump right into an example. Let's say you have the expression (3x squared plus 16x minus 35. And we want to factor this trinomial. Okay, we know it's going to break down into two binomial factors. And we come off to the side to our scratch paper and we draw our big X. Now, this big X has nothing to do with our variable, it's just a table. And in this table, we're going to place our B term in the top and our AC term in the bottom, A times C. We're looking to multiply to give this term, and we're looking to add to give this term. Well, in this case, b is positive 16. b, being the coefficient of x, is positive 16. And I'm going to emphasize the signs. The signs will be very important. A times c, well, a is 3 and c is a negative 35, thus 3 times negative 35 is a negative 105. Alright, now we are ready to proceed. We want to pick the numbers that will multiply to give 105. I'm not going to worry about the sign when I'm looking at these paired factors. Remember, you can employ your calculator. You could go to the grapher, f1 of x, and enter in the inverse variation function 105 divided by x, and then take a look at your table, and your table will show you all the paired factors. Those paired factors are 1 times 105, 3 times 35, that's what yield the 105, and 5 times 21. I believe that's going to be all of our paired factors. Now, all of these will multiply by 105, provided by negative 105, provided one is a plus and one is a minus. This is a key part to this process. If the product here is a negative, if we want to multiply for a negative, we must have one positive factor and one negative factor. Alright, since these are opposite signed, when I'm considering addition, really think about subtraction. So, which of these paired factors will subtract for 16? It's 5 and 21. Since our sum is positive, we want more positives. The 21 will be the positive and the 5 will be the negative. Positive 21 times negative 5 will be negative 105. 21 minus 5 will yield a positive 16. Alright, we're ready to proceed. We know to get an x squared we'll need an x times an x. Plus 21 and minus 5, these will be in the second position. So far, it's exactly like our previous method when a was equal to 1. Well, here's where it gets slightly trickier. This final step, we're now going to divide by a. And I omitted that previously because if a was always 1, dividing by 1 wouldn't change anything. A in this case is 3. I'm going to divide both of these numbers by that 3, dividing by 3 here and dividing by 3 here. If it readily divides like 21 divided by 3, I'm simply going to do that. That's a 7. If it does not divide to give a whole number, I'm going to reduce this fraction. This is the most reduced form, 5 over 3. Once it's in the most reduced form, I'm simply going to take my denominator and express it as the coefficient of the x here. So this becomes 3x subtract 5. And we are finished. We will multiply to check. X times 3x is a 3x squared. 5 times negative 7 is a minus 35. To get this inside term, we multiply these two to get 21x, and these two to get negative 5x. Adding will be 16x. Again, we could use our calculator to check. We could put this expression in F1, this in F2, and we would see they would coincide. Let's do one more example. Example number 2. Right. Let's say we have 8x squared minus 26x plus 15. Well, we know we will have two binomial factors. Okay. Come with our big X. B in the top, A times C in the bottom. Well, B in this case is a negative 26. A times C, A 8, C positive 15. 8 times 15 is 120 positive. Again, I want to emphasize the signs. Okay. Unfortunately, 120 has many paired factors. This is definitely a good situation to use the calculator. Could be 1 times 120. Could be 2 times 60. Could be 3 times 40. Could be 4 times 30. Could be 5 times 24. Could be 6 times 20. Could be 10 times 12. I believe there may be one or two others, and your calculator could assist you with that, but this is going to get it done in this case. All right. The signs. Remember, if the bottom term is negative, then these are automatically 1 plus 1 minus. You're not concerned with the top term. But if this bottom term is a positive, these two must be the same because we need a positive times a positive to yield a positive, or a negative times a negative to yield that positive. What will it be? It will be the same as this top term. If the bottom one's a positive, look at your top term. There will be two of those signs. So, we are interested, since this was an addition, we're interested in who adds to give 26. Of these paired factors, it is this one, 6 times 20. Negative 6 times negative 20 will be a positive 120. Negative 6 plus negative 20, or negative 6 minus 20, however you want to look at it, is a negative 26. So we're ready to advance. To get our x squared, we need an x and an x. Minus 6 and minus 20. Lastly, we will divide by a. Dividing by, in this case, 8. Divide by 8 here, divide by 8 here. Alright, this is a good example of the reducing. If they don't divide to leave a whole number, simply make them the most reduced fraction. 6 over 8 will reduce to 3 over 4. 2 goes into both of those. 20 over 8 will reduce to 10. Actually, 4 will go into both of those. Will reduce to 5 over 2. 4 goes into 25 times, 4 into 8 2 times. Now we will simply take these denominators and write them as the coefficients. Alright, 4x minus 3. 2x subtract 5. let's multiply to check. 4x times 2x is 8x squared. Negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. To get this middle term, negative 6x, and negative 20x is negative 26x. This method looks a little bit like magic, and if you're interested in a proof, I will be providing one in a different video, but just know that it's going to work, and it's going to save you a lot of time guessing and checking.